Welcome back. So today we are going to discuss devil's shoestrings. So here are some of the devil's shoestrings. Whenever I get my devil's shoestrings, they come in like a big bunch. So a piece like this, it'll have like 200-300 pieces of sticks. And when you guys order from me, I cut off from the base. So this here has about maybe 3 sticks left, 3 large sticks. A lot of my customers buy the small and the medium-sized sticks. And whenever I have leftover, I break off the smaller pieces and I put them in jars like this. And this is really good to use for protection. I've used devil's shoestring for protection. It's really good for a situation where if you feel like you're getting bullied. So a lot of you that are getting cyber bullied and stuff like that, devil's shoestring is good. It's also good to help stop enemies from doing certain work. So this can be blended down and broken down and added with like mustard seeds. You can use angelica root powder, and you can break this down. And this is a great form also to use for money as well. So if you want to use it for money or protection to stop enemies, or even to like trip them up. So the devil's shoestring is used to basically trip up the enemies that are doing, spells on you, hexes, to send them into a different direction. I've blended them with mustard seeds and barberry to help stop enemies from doing anything to my clients and my customers, to stop them from pursuing that spell in full. So if you feel like someone has started, a lot of times, let me say this, a lot of times when you start like, on your spiritual journey, you're going to experience different things to where you start feeling as if people are doing stuff to you. And I want you to follow that intuition. You're more than spot on when you feel like it is a specific person whom has been doing things to you. There are some situations where for many of you, you are completely confused and you're really messed up. So your thought process of thinking it's a certain person is always and consistently going to change. And if you're feeling it's different people constantly, you're not in the right state of mind. And you're not in the right state of mind to be going after people either. So I know a lot of you are going to be watching this video and you're like, oh, you done named 7 people working on you already. You can't. It's impossible. So I need you to get a clear head, a clear state of mind. I need you to, release any energy you've had, do some uncrossing, or actually let somebody do some uncrossing baths for you, make some uncrossing candles for you. Because when you're heavily crossed up and you got a lot of things going on and the enemy's confusing you, you cannot use devil's shoestring to trip them up. They've already confused you and altered things in your head to where you believe is multiple people. But for those of you that have had yourself shielded and protected, and you get that inclination it's a certain person, a neighbor, a friend, an ex doing stuff on you, I want you to follow through with that. Because you already have a shield of protection on you. So I want you to gather your devil's shoestrings. You can soak them as well. You want to soak them, you want to blend them together, and you want to work that over the enemy. You can place this at the feet of a black image candle and use this to stop a spell from being pursued. You can also use spell breaker and hex breaker oils that I sell in my shop as well. And in any instance where you are working a spell, I want you to create a circle with my spell protection powder, herbs, and roots, and place a white candle in there to help shield you from anyone knowing what you're doing. A lot of times people will use devil's shoestring as well in their rituals. So you use it in the rituals and you will work with it to prevent anyone from seeing that you're doing anything. I know a lot of people, they'll use cloaks, they'll wear shades, they'll put scarves on and different things. But you want to make sure it's something that has went through a ritual that's been protected. So you can take a scarf, like my head scarves that I sell. I go through an extensive 14-day ritual with them, along with spell protection powders and many different herbs and roots, to ensure when you do wear it, that not only is it cleansing you and protecting you in that format, but is also stopping anyone from invading your thoughts and seeing what you are working. Devil's shoestring can also be used to help bring forth money. Like a lot of you that like to gamble and stuff like this, you can add the roots. You see the roots here are really, really, really hard and thick. This will make a great protective wand. This will make a great wand. Even a piece like this and you want to soak it and you want to wrap it in some cloth, even like maybe like a sock that you've worn, and you can soak it in devil be gone, or I saw devil be gone oil, or you can use the devil shoestring oil, and you can take it, wrap a cloth that you've worn, and you want to use it to place this on your altar. It can go on your altar, and it can go on your protection altar as well. And whenever you do your rituals and stuff like this can go on there. There's a bunch of different roots here. This one had about maybe 100 different roots on it, and in time, as I cut them off from the base and set them to my customers, this is what's left. And this is a really, really, really good piece here to put it in a mojo bag. And you see the little hairs in between? You could rip those out, cut those out, and use those in your oils as well. I like to use the devil shoestring as well to like for like those of you that are like Instagram and Facebook and stuff, and you know, you don't know how to deal with people like commenting certain things to you, or cyberbullying you, harassing you, you know, getting on your nerves and doing certain things via the internet. You can use the smaller stems, and you can create a jar like this, and you could place about 7 different roots in here along with the devil shoestring, and it goes by your computer or your phone, whatever you're using at the time, to help prevent situations like that. You can also wrap the person's name around a larger root, a larger piece, like say the piece, this piece right here at the top. You want to use a piece like this coming all the way down into here, and you want to use that root, and you want to wrap the person's name around it, and you're going to put some devil be gone and cast off evil, and wrap their name in some black cloth, and you can put some black salt inside of a black mojo bag, and you want to put some also like hot foot or stay away powder inside of there, and you soak it for maybe 7 to 10 days, and when it dries out in the sun, then you place that by your computer, your desktop, Mac, and to help remove the energy that they consistently keep sending you, and it kind of confuses them and removes them from bothering you all the time. So that's a good way to working with that. Another thing that I do is I put fairy wall protection oil on them, and hang them over my doors. So front of the house, back of the house, garage door, put it by the patio, anywhere in which you're going to be entering back and forth. You're going to add these there, and you can hang them. You can also take the smaller laces and wear them in your shoes. So you can put them at the bottom of your soles. These are much of the thinner pieces of the devil's shoestring. And for those of you that are seeking heavy protection and you're afraid that you're going to walk into a trap one day, because people lay tricks. And when you lay tricks, you can use other people's basically dirt and stuff from their houses and grass, and you can mix it up with different powders for them to walk right into. You can mix it with like, I know, you know, a lot of recipes I've known giving out to my customers, telling them to mix up hot foot and destruction powder and fuck it up powder, so that the enemy can walk into it to create that that destruction in their life, that collateral damage in their life. So when they walk into that trap, you know, it's now on their body. You left it for them. Doesn't matter who walks into it. It's specific for your target. So John Doe has done certain things to you. You want him to walk into a trap. You put those there for him. For those of you that don't want to walk into traps that the enemies have laid out for you, you know, you may see a bunch of powder sprinkled in the path. You don't want to walk into that. You place the devil's shoestrings, 3 devil's shoestrings in each shoe. And you can place some fairy wall of protection and regular protection oil, and stuff them down into your shoes or into your socks, so that you won't be able to be affected by any spells laid, and or you can make a bracelet out of it. So if you have a good piece, because they stretch and stuff, they stretch out pretty good, you can wrap these around your feet and make them into a bracelet. You're going to need longer pieces, wrap them around together, and you can wear this around your left ankle for a form of protection. I know a lot of people, they keep them in their homes for business. And I know a lot of people that love taking them to casinos. So it can be used for many different situations. What I'm going to do, I'm going to break down the rest of this that's left. And the really, really large root, that will go well into a mojo. So if you have a really, really large piece of root, like the base of one, like this piece right here, you want to break off that little extra piece that's hanging. That could go into like your oils and stuff like that. And it's a really hard root. It is not brittle. So for those of you that are purchasing devil's shoestring, you want to make sure that you know what it looks like and feels like. It's a really hard root. It should not look like nothing like of like stems pulled out of a plant. I know many people try to pass that off, or something that's really soft and brittle. I've had devil's shoestring for many, many years, and let me tell you something, it does not get soft, it does not get brittle. It's pretty hard. It's really, really a solid piece of wood. So for those people passing off fake pieces of devil's shoestring, you're gonna know. I've never seen them any darker than what you see here, unless you're putting oils on them. But they normally are not any darker than this. So you'll see this light brown. So if somebody has passed off a dark, dark, blackish, really dark brown piece to you, and it's really soft and brittle, most likely 10 out of 10 times that's not even devil's shoestring. Because people will all assume, oh, I grow this in my backyard, I grow this in my aunt's yard. You pulling stems out of the floor and you selling to people. You selling people fake stuff. So be very, very careful and be cautioned as to the devil's shoestring. You'll possibly even get pieces like this. I know people, they'll sell it cut up. I prefer the whole pieces so I can do whatever I want to do with it, and I know a lot of my customers do. So when I do get my pounds and pounds of devil's shoestring, this is what I do with it. This is what's left over. This is the remaining of it. So the little pieces, I'll probably cut those off. And, for my customers that want smaller pieces, 5 to 6 little pieces, so they can do whatever they got to do with them, you can do that. You can wear them as charms. So if you have the necklaces where you can put the roots in between, do that as well. I prefer it for protection, to trip up enemies, to stop them, to stop the harassing, to stop the bullying, and to block out the enemies trying to do anything. You can use these in blockbuster spells as well, because they do block out enemies. And they're really good for breaking off certain spells and stuff. So if you're working on a jinx remover, a hex remover, uncrossing, devil's shoestring can be placed into your home as well. I don't boil them. I don't use them for like baths or anything like that. But I'm pretty sure you can. But like roots like this, I like to preserve the energy in them. I like to keep them around the house. Pray over them. Sage over them to clear them out. Use protection incense. They can go in your fairy wall protection rituals as well. So you have a skew of different things that you can work them in. And for those of you that like to use them in like rituals for gambling, you could take like one large piece with you, and this will help remove any negativity coming from people that don't want you to win, and it will also draw in a form of luck to help you bring in the good. So you have a bunch of different things. I prefer it for protection. I love it for protection. It's really good for protection overall. I don't use it for gambling. I don't gamble, so very rare that I'll go to the casino and take like this stuff with me. If I do go to the casino once a year or whatever, every 2 years, then it will be a situation where I'll take this, then I'll probably take this and some Hoyt's cologne to rub on it, and that will be like the most that I'll do with it. But overall, here is your view on what it looks like. A very powerful and potent root, devil's shoestring. Like, subscribe, and stay blessed.